Okie dokie, ladies and gentlemen. Today is Monday, January 11th, and I'm so happy to be back here at school. We are going to continue to rock double-digit multiplication. The difference is we're going to learn a new method, my preferred method, called the lattice method. That's what we're going to rock today. Challenge questions, yet again, are going to look pretty similar to the last couple challenge questions, but I still haven't had a large amount of you guys master these. So I hope you guys tried very hard and you did very well at these 3 challenge questions. You're going to add mixed numbers, make sure they both have a common denominator. Obviously there it's 3 and 4. The first thing they both have in common is 12. B, 20 times 600, get rid of the zeros, multiply 6 times 2, and then add your zeros to your answer. And then C, 5 times 10 to the second power, you're going to make 5 10 times bigger twice, right? And then the challenge question, it's just going to be a simple multiplication. All right, recapping a little bit, we have 10 to the third power. Whenever you have a number to a power, we love 10 because 10 is a very easy pattern. But what it means is the base, which the base is the big number, is going to get multiplied by itself the exponent amount of times. Exponent is the little number. So this is 10 times 10 times 10. And 10 to the third power is equal to 1,000. Here we have 50 times 60. Remember, when you're multiplying with numbers that end in 0, you could ignore the zeros first, only if they end in 0. Multiply the remaining numbers, so 5 times 6 is 30, and then you're going to go ahead and add those zeros you crossed off to the end of your answer. So the answer for 50 times 60 is 3,000. And then we learned about the area model. We learned 2 different types of the area model. One of them is taking 28 and 47 in pulling apart both of those numbers. So pulling apart 28 into 20 and 8, right? You pull apart the tens place and the ones place, and then 47 would be 40 and 7. Now you're finding the area to 4 different rectangles, but with much easier numbers like 20 times 40, which 20 times 40 is 800. And then you're going to find 8 times 40, which remember, when they end in 0, you get rid of the 0. 8 times 4 is 32. Add the 0 to it. And then 7 times 20 is 140. And then 7 times 8 is 56. Now to find the real answer of 28 times 47, you would simply add all those together. And then remember, the other way to do it is just separate one side. So 28 times 40 and 7. Okay. But we don't even have to really stress about those models because today you are going to get introduced to my favorite. Now, it was once told to me that English is the most difficult language to learn. Now, the interesting thing about that is you would disagree, as I would disagree as well, but English is the only real language that I know. But we were taught it in the beginning, so everything else seems foreign. It seems more difficult to understand. So that's kind of the way that I look at this lattice method. Now, the lattice method looks completely foreign, and at first it's confusing. But once you really understand it, I promise you, it is the simplest method. And students make the least amount of mistakes with it and will learn multiplication with the lattice method, and that's a promise. Now, it only has a few simple steps, so let me just introduce you to the lattice method. So let's come up with a random number, a random question like 25 times 23. 25 times 23. The first thing you do is you make your boxes. So what you're going to do is you're going to make one large box and then break it into 4 boxes, right? Because it's a double digit by a double digit. Now, on the top, you put the first number. So we have 25. And what you're going to do for 25 is you're going to put your 25, the 2 represents one column and the 5 represents the other. And then you're going to have 23 on the other. So you have a 2 representing this row and a 3 representing this row. The other thing I forgot is you want to take your 4 boxes, and what you're going to do with your 4 boxes is you're simply going to take one of the corners and the other corner, and you're going to connect those corners, okay? And when you connect the corners, you simply run off of the edge of the corner a little bit. And you always want to go from the right to the left. Now, if you could make it to this part, you have done the most difficult thing with multiplying lattice method. This is the hardest part. And this is going to be hard the first 10 times you make it, and then you're going to be like, oh, that's easy. Now watch how easy the rest of it is. First of all, we can go in any order, okay? And we want to take one of the boxes. Here's one box right here. And what we want to do is we want to fill the box. And the way you fill the box is on top of the box, there's always a number. And to the right of the box, there's always a number. Right? There's a number representing the row and the column. And then all you do to fill it up is you multiply those together. So here's 2 times 2. What's 2 times 2? 4. But it has to be a double-digit number. So 4 as a double-digit number is 0, 4. And then what about here? It's 5 times 2, which is 10. And then what about right here? And you can go in any order. 5 times 3, which is 15. And then 2 times 3, which is 6. And you just have to make it double digit, so it's 0, 6. Now you are done with those outside numbers. You just needed them to help you fill in the box. Now, your answer will simply fall down using these slides. So here's the first slide. The 5 doesn't have anything it's going to bump into. So the 5 will come down. That's going to be a part of your answer. Now you come down the second slide. 0 plus 1 is 0, or is 1, I'm sorry. And then 1 plus 6 is 7. And then the 1 falls into the 4, which makes a 5. And that is it. That's your answer. Your answer fell down, and your answer is 575. Okay? So let's see that again. I'll erase, let's see. Let me erase this here. So the first thing that you do is you make your 4 boxes, and then you connect each corner, the top right and the bottom left corner. And that is the hardest part of making the lattice method, is making the boxes. Once you make the boxes, 25 goes on top, 23 goes on the side. If you put 23 on top and 25 on the side, you'll still get the same answer. And then you fill each box. 5 times 2 is 10. 2 times 2 is 4. 5 times 3 is 15. And then 3 times 2 is 6. And now simply each number falls down. So the 5 falls down. The 5 falls down. And then the 6 plus 1 falls down. And then the 4 plus 1 falls down. And your answer is 575. And that's it. Now let's compare the lattice method to the traditional method. So once again, we will use 25 times 23 for both. Okay, so 25 times 23 for both. The traditional method. First, let me just explain to you. Let's pretend that you've never seen the traditional method. If someone explains to you how to do this, they say, okay, take the 3, multiply it by the 5. If you get a double-digit answer, make sure you put the first digit in the double digit up here and then the second digit down here. Now take the 3 and, multiply over here and hit the 2. And then when you get that answer, make sure you add whatever's up here. And when you add that, you're going to put that answer right here. And then when you're done with that row, why don't you just jump down a row? Put a 0 here. You just got to add a 0 here. Now multiply this number by this number. And if it's a double-digit number, put the 1 digit over here and then put the other digit over here. And then when you're done with that, go ahead and multiply this one. Go ahead and add anything up from right here. And then you're going to put that answer right here. When you're done with that, you're going to go ahead and add all this answer, and you're going to add all this answer, and then your entire answer is going to be right here. Now, what is the problem with this? The problem is there's so many steps, and every single step has to be done in the correct order. If it's not done in the correct order, or you forget a step, you will not get the right answer. Okay, there's a lot of room to make mistakes with the traditional method. Now, I'm not saying don't learn the traditional method. I'm saying that if there is a method to learn, you are going to realize that the lattice method is that method that's going to work better. Now, 5 times 3 is 15. 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1 is 7. You're done with 25 times 3. You cannot forget the 0, which is forgotten so many times. Now 2 times 5 is 10. And you put a new one up there. And then 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5. And now you're going to go ahead and add those. So your answer there is 575. Now let's look at the lattice method. You make your boxes. You connect your boxes with lines. We're going to put 25. We're going to put 23. And then all you have to know to do, and this order does not matter, is you just have to fill each box. The way you fill each box is look on top of that box, look on the right of that box, and multiply those two together. Look on the top of the box, look on the right of the box, multiply those two together. If it's a 4, which is a one-digit number, you have to make sure to turn it double digit, so there's 0 10s and 4 1s. And then 5 times 3 is 15, and the last one is this box, which is a 2 by 3, which is a 6. And now you're going to have those numbers. The answers are just going to fall down. The 5 falls down, and then 0 plus 1 plus 6 is 7. Oops, 7. And then 4 plus 1 is 5. And then 0 falls down, which is 0, which is nothing. So your answer is 575. In your math book, we are on page 153, and I totally expect that you write this out, okay? I will send your parents a dojo message later saying that you need to have page 153 completed. All right, so can you use the lattice method on all of these? Yes. And I will teach you that at a different time. But right now, I would say that if it's a single digit on the bottom, just multiply the traditional way. So 7 times 4 is 28. You put your 2 right there, and then your 8 down. And then 5 times 7 is 35, plus 2 is 37. So that answer is 378. 508 times 6. 6 times 8 is done first, which is 48. 6 times 0 is 0, plus 4 is 4. And then 5 times 6 is 30. Answer is 3048. 8 times 5 is 40. 8 times 4 is 32. 33, 34, 35, 36. 8 times 9 is 72, plus 3 is 75. So 7,560. 6 times 3 is 18. 8 times 3 is 24, plus 1 is 25. 7 times 3 is 21, plus 2 is 23. And then 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 is 8. Oops, that's a nasty looking 8. It looks like a Christmas tree ornament. 8,358. Now, pause it and try to get your answers for 5 through 8. And then unpause it and see if you got it right. 4 times 3 is 12, so I'm going to put my 1 there and then my 2 down here. 4 times 4 is 16, plus 1 is 17. 6 times 4 is 24, plus 1 is 25. So that answer is 2,572. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 4 is 8. And 5 times 2 is 10. Please make sure that you're following along, and please make sure you're trying these, because my goodness, if you do not get down multiplying on your own, then you're going to have such a difficult time with your math in the future. So please, 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 please make sure you are understanding this. And then 1,079 times 7. The way we get this answer is 7 times 9 is 63. 7 times 7 is 49. 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55. So you have a 1 and then a 5. Sorry, the 1 should be here with the 0. 7 times 0 is 0 plus 1 is 1. And then 7 times 1 is 7. I messed up somewhere. Let me see where. So 7, let me go back to ignoring that because that messed me up. 7 times 9 is 63. 7 times 7 is 49 plus 6, that's where it is 55. 7 times nothing is 7 plus 5. And then 7 times 1 is 7. Let's see if we got it that time. Yeah, we did. All right. 8's a little different. We can apply the skill that we learned in an earlier lesson by getting rid of the zeros. 5 times 4 is 20. And then I just go ahead and add all the zeros I got rid of. I got rid of 3 zeros. So I go ahead and I add 3 zeros to my answer. Answer is 20,000. Now we're going to use the lattice method for these problems right here. So 49 times 76. I'm going to put my 49. I'm going to put 76 in. And then all you have to do is look at each box. Each box has a number on top of it, and each box has a number to the right of it. 9 times 7 is 63. So that's going to be a 6 and a 3. This one is 9 by 6, which is 54. This one's 4 by 6, which is 24. And this one's 7 by 4, 28. And now each number will fall down. So this is the first time that we're going to have a double-digit answer. 5 plus 3 is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So just like in a lot of other math, because it's double-digit, the 1 is going to go somewhere down this slide in 12, and then the 2 is going to go here because it's 12. Why did I put it here? Just because I have this ugly-looking thing next to the 6, so it confused me. 6 plus 1 is 7. 7 plus 8 is 15. 15 plus 2 is 17. So 1, 7. And then 1 plus 2 is 3. Answer is 3,724. And then 65 times 24. And what I would do when I'm learning something like this is I will just guess what the person in the video is going to say before they say it. So right now I'd guess that they're going to say 5 times 2 is 10 to fill this one, or you could pause it and try the rest on your own and then just double check it. 6 times 2 is 12. This one over here is a 6 by 4, which is 24. This one's 5 by 4, which is 20. The 0 falls down. 4 plus 2 is 6. 2 plus 2 plus 1 is 5. And then the 1 falls down. Answer is 1,560. This one we don't need lattice method. We get rid of the zeros. 4 times 4 is 16. And then go ahead and add those 2 zeros. And your answer is 1,600. And then we have 53 times 35. Oops. 53 times 35. I'm going to put my 5, 3. That looks like a weird looking S. And then I'm going to put my 3, 5. And then I'm going to fill each box. 3 times 3 is 9, but 9 has to be a double digit. 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 3 is 15. And now each number is going to fall. The 5 falls. 5 plus 1 is 6. 6 plus 9 is 15. 2 plus 5 plus 1, 7 plus 1 is 8. And then the 1 falls by itself. 1,855 is your answer. And I'm understanding too that you're not going to be as quick with your facts, and that's okay. That doesn't mean this method doesn't work for you. Let me show you with 98 times 72, okay? I'm sorry, 98 times 27 or 27 times 98. So this one's 9 times 7. You could literally count by 9s on your finger if you need to until you get 7. It doesn't matter. Use any method that you know, okay? So 9 times 7 is 63. 9 times 2 is 18. 8 times 2 is 16. And then 8 times, so 7 times 8 is 56. 6 falls down. And this one's 5 plus 3, which is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 8 plus 2 is 10, right? This is the 1 from 14. 10 and 6 is 16. And then 1 plus 1 is 2. So that's 2,646. $33 times 88. Ooh, what in the world happened there? 8 times 3 is 24. 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 4 falls down. 4 plus 4 plus 2 is 10. 2 plus 1 is 3, plus 4 is 7, plus 2 is 9. I'm going to recount that. 2 plus 4 is 6, 7, 8, 9, yep. And then the 2 falls down. Answer's 2,904. 71 times 28. Gross. 1 times 2 is 2. 7 times 2 is 14. 8 times 1 is 8. 8 times 7 is 56. 8 falls down. 8 falls down. 9. 1. 1988. It was a good year, my friends. 1,988. And then the last one I'm going to do with you, and then I'm going to ask that you guys do this before you meet with me. 92, 47, 4 times 2 is 8, 9 times 4 is 36, 9 times 7 is 63, and then 7 times 2 is 14. 4 falls down, goes boom. 8 plus 1 is 9, 9 plus 3 is 12. 6, 12, 13, and then 3 plus 1 is 4, 4,324. Try your best to get these answers before our meeting. If you have time, that would be phenomenal. And if not, well, we're going to go over these answers together. All right, I will see you at our live session at 10:30.